Hi, this is Damien and this is my MBA journey at the Melbourne Business School. Today I just finished having a coffee with my mate who's up from or down here in Melbourne from Brisbane. He's the doctor who's doing extra studies down here in addition to already completing his degree. So today what I'm going to be talking about is around relationships while doing the MBA. So the reason I'm going to be talking about this is because when I went to the information session at the Melbourne Business School, one of the guys was asked around what the time commitment was for doing the MBA, and the guy who was on the panel, who was currently doing the MBA and about to complete it, told us that it is something. He has a young family, and it was something he had to obviously talk to with his wife because it would affect her and his young family. So this is going to be a crucial part to doing the MBA is around my time management and where I put that time. So for me, I'm single. I don't have a family. I don't have a partner or kids to be concerned about. So what I'm going to have to do though is I'm going to have to manage my time still. I'm still going to have a social life in some aspects. I don't want to just be associating with people I work with and then the people that I study with. I want to have relationships outside of in a social setting. It's not just about work and study. People I can talk to and socialise and be talking about other things that's happening in life. But that is going to be limiting, so I will have to make sure I allocate time to that social aspect. So I caught up with him, we caught up for a coffee, had a brunch, and just discussed what we were doing. He's obviously doing his studies, so we talked about what we were doing and where we were up to, and he's got a wife and young family, a newborn child, so most of his time spent either at work and then doing study, and then any time extra he spends with his wife and young child. So it's good for him also sort of to get out of the house and catch up with friends as well. So that's something I'll be also doing, is just make sure I allocate, a couple of hours each week to having a social life. It's probably whether that's a brunch or whether I do dinner, or catching up with people for drinks on a Friday or a Saturday night for a few hours, and just allocating that time. It also means, around cleaning the house, doing groceries, doing shopping and all that, and then doing additional studies on top of that during the weekend. So when I've been going for a few jobs, a few people, when I've mentioned that my whole purpose of being down here was to do the MBA, they turn around and say, oh, look, that's something that they were thinking about doing, but they've been told that it takes up their time for weekends, and that's where the time is spent. I've heard of people doing the executive MBA where they'll work, they've got their own businesses, they'll go to work at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock to start work at 7 a.m. in the morning, and then they get home from about 5 or 6 o'clock they'll spend with the family, their young kids, until 8 o'clock when they put them to bed, and then from 8 to 12 that's when they do their study, so for 4 hours on top of their other studies during the weekends. So yes, it's very important if you're going to be doing the MBA to consider also your relationships and how the MBA is going to affect that. Definitely have the conversations with, if you've got a partner, what that time commitment will be. If you've got kids as well, what time you allocate towards them. So one of the things I'll be doing this week is around my schedule. I do have a time schedule for doing when I've got classes, but I also need to start planning around what time I set aside for work, doing the gym, and also doing my studies outside of the university itself. apart from the course on top of that. So, and just cleaning the house and doing those different things, the grocery shopping, and really making a schedule and trying to stick to it as close as possible. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be important. So to maintain that schedule, and I'll just keep track of that as well. And that includes my food plan, because the food prep time, that what meals I'm making and when I'm making them. So I might do a Sunday meal prep for all the week, and put those and freeze them, put them into the freezer and take them out hours I need it. So I'm cutting back on time that I'm spending on cooking and that through the week, because I'll be waking up, hopefully going to the gym for an hour, then probably doing either some study or getting ready to go to work. Doing work, maybe during my lunchtime, I might spend half an hour during my lunchtime to read a newspaper or do some study. Then I'm leaving work to go straight to university, the Melbourne Business School there, to go to a class, or I'm coming home to do some study, or I'm going to the Melbourne Business School to meet up with other students who I'm doing group assignments with, because that's the only location that's convenient for us all to meet, or I might doing a Skype conversation. And then getting home at anywhere between 10 and 11 o'clock. So talking with other students, previous students, and those currently doing it, they said that usually after classes, which finish at 9:30, they then spend about an hour talking with their other students who are in their groups for doing group assignments. That's the time for them best to meet to do the group work together. So a relationship's going to be important. I want to maintain some element of social life outside of work and uni. So I am going to schedule that in for a couple of hours each week, be it a Friday or a Saturday night for dinner, or catching up with friends for a coffee or brunch for a couple of hours as well on the Saturday or Sunday. So yes, so that's the plans around relationships. They need to be managed, and you need to talk with your partner if you have one, and you'll understand the requirements for if you got kids, what time you're going to allocate towards them. So that's it. This is Damien Foley. You can follow me on YouTube at Damien Foley, and you can follow me on my website, which is www.damienfoley.com/MBA. I've updated the website, so you can follow that. That's www.damienfoley.com/MBA, and you can follow that. Okay, I'm signing out, and I'll catch up with you later. Thanks, bye.